Before we go on with this video, man, I have to give a message here. It's really important. A lot of people are going to say, man, Paparazzo Rubro-Negro nailed it. Life isn't about beating life, man. It's really great to be liked by a big idol, by important people connected to our Flamengo, the greatest idol in history, Zico, right? And I wanted to thank Mr. Almedinha and Rafinha, who made a point of inviting me to fantastic moments. In the last days that Zico was here, regardless of this terrible moment for Flamengo, for the youth academy, for the kids, we obviously want things to get better, but at least here, I was able to experience some really magical moments here alongside Zico, and I'm going to share with you some of those moments here quickly. So you can see the happiness of being able to be next to a great idol like Zico, right? That's amazing.
Now that a new day is coming, our time will come. Go! My glass isn't there, right? Look, go on. You lifted it up, Rich. Go on. Now come here. If you want to stand, go with faith, but you always have to leave. Now that the new day is coming, believing is going, you'll believe that the new day will come. Go on, but sadness.
Guys, before I call here, it's the rest of the cut. I have to say something. Some very important information regarding some statements made by Abel Ferreira, right? Is it Abel? He talks about Palmeiras spending, right? That Palmeiras spent, that's money. In the previous transfer windows, when Abel Ferreira says that Palmeiras spent 700 million euros and that it was spent in installments and all that, and that it wasn't all at once and so on, he's trying to imply that Flamengo actually spent more because they spent a little over 300 million, but Palmeiras spent 700, but it was in installments. Abel, yeah, you need to understand something. And man, besides everything else, right? Stop just thinking about Flamengo. Everything has to be a message for Flamengo. It's envy, man. Everything has to be something aimed at Flamengo. This Abel Ferreira is unbelievable. Let's go, Mengo. Let's go, Mengo. We're together. Good morning, man. This Abel Ferreira, man. He only cares about Flamengo and probably wants to coach them someday. It's not possible. Man, because the guy wants to justify that Palmeiras spent 700 million in installments and Flamengo spent a little over 300 and all that. He's implying that, right? That other teams spend too, even Palmeiras, because Palmeiras paid in installments, the other teams too. Everyone pays in installments in the market. Everyone pays in installments. Abel, that doesn't exist, man. That doesn't exist. You already brought up the youth academy thing. Now, man, also other situations, man, forget about Flamengo, man. Forget about Flamengo and don't try to bring it up. One of your problems is that the signings didn't work out. You spent a fortune, close to $1 billion, right? 700 million is closer to $1 billion than to $500 million. Don't try to justify that by pointing at others, man. That's really ugly. It's really ugly, but that's it, man. The guy lives for Flamengo, always trying to justify the signings. And another thing, Flamengo is signing Lucas Paquetá. For sure, there will also be installment payments. There are fixed amounts and there are installment payments. That's how it is in the world of soccer. It's always been like that. And look at this statement from Abel, which explains this well. I was saying I like challenges, but each one in their own role. I'm a coach and I'm required to deliver results. We compete against teams with very experienced players and with titles under their belts. We lost to Flamengo, which spends up to twice as much as Palmeiras, and no one was happy. We must keep working to stay competitive and fight for titles. Flamengo spends more than Palmeiras, even though Palmeiras invested 700 million in installments and Flamengo also pays some in installments. I just arrived at the Orlando store and look, it's right here, personalized. That's awesome. I even asked them to center it, right? The main sponsor, many people know Flamengo wears it up here, covers part of the red, right? I asked them to center it because I think it looks better. Many people say Flamengo should have placed it lower and made it darker. You can't change it, but you can do what I did and get it fully personalized at the Orlando store. If you're on vacation, if you live here in the United States, they deliver all over the United States. Look, I put the patches on. Look, champion Libertadores participation and 4 Libertadores already here, right? And Arrascaeta, number 10, our wizard, okay? I didn't put all the sponsors on, okay? Because I preferred to keep it a bit cleaner. But the main ones are there. And you can also come here and make yours. You can call them too. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment, the link for you to get in touch with them, their WhatsApp group link. Just talk to Paulo and the guys. Everything's handled. Thanks. Now check this out. I'm going to show you here that they also have the shirt. Let me look. Let's go. Let's go. Look, they have the shirt. It's a tank top. That's not the basketball one, okay? But it's a tank top from this new collection, all right? They already have the tank top here too. It's like this, but it's not the basketball jersey, okay? And here it is. They already have the long sleeve, and authentic and other sizes of the short sleeve are arriving this week. So you can get in touch with them to make sure you'll get your new jersey, God willing, the jersey. The one for many titles, man, paparazzi. But I'm upset because they lost 3-0 and all that. Bro, it'll get sorted out. It'll get sorted out. Are we watching it? My concern is that, for example, even the players who are on vacation, who just got back from vacation and all, and who didn't play much last year, even those players who didn't play much last year, they had the same amount of vacation time as the others, right? So they're there. But they had fewer minutes. They had less playing time in the Tetrafao. Kusi Conta doesn't like the term minutes played. They played less last year and had less playing time, but got the same vacation as everyone else, right? If they had the same vacation time as the others, they'd end up in a similar condition. I understand the person who told me about this. I even get this situation about like, oh, they're coming back from vacation and all that. But Flamengo, right now, with the youngsters unfortunately aren't managing. And now they're going to face an opponent, a derby. Man, those guys don't care that it's the youngsters. They just care that 20 years from now, they'll be able to say, we beat Flamengo 5-0. Of course, they're going to want to take advantage of it, right? Honestly, I think it's very, very risky. Now, yeah, the New Jersey here, right? Man, with the Libertadores Cup, we bring the New Jersey closer to the Libertadores Cup. Look, guys, so here's the thing. I'm at the Orlando store. It's the only soccer club store outside Brazil, abroad, man. It's amazing. Only Flamengo has a store outside the country. So let me bring you an important update about Lucas Paquetá in case Flamengo confirms the signing. As we've already told you, it's already happening. It only depends on when. It's a matter of how much and when. There are still some details to work out, but he's going to be with Flamengo. Whether it's now or in the middle of the year, we don't know. Or if it's going to be in a month at the end of the transfer window, we don't know. Paquetá will be with Flamengo, guys. He wants to return, and when a player wants it, you can't stop it. He's already decided he wants to come back to Flamengo. So Lucas Paquetá, him coming to Flamengo. Flamengo will get part of the amount he's going to pay. Flamengo pays and gets it back. Look how crazy that is. Since Flamengo developed him, they're entitled to about 4% of the deal via the solidarity mechanism. That's pretty interesting. Suppose the deal closes at 40 million or even 35 million euros. I'll give you the info I have. 35 million euros fixed, plus 5 million in bonuses, but the main amount is 35 million. Flamengo would recover 4% of both the amount and the targets. But let's think about the 4% of the fixed amount. 1.4 million euros from the fixed value. 8.7 million, almost 9 million reais. If we include the other 200,000 euros later, that's another 1.2 million reais. So we're reaching 10 million reais that Flamengo will receive. Flamengo will get 10 million back in the deal. So they're going to spend a lot of money. They're going to spend 200 and some more, right? But they're going to get 10 million raised back. That's nice. That's nice. And to give you some information, look, ESR still hasn't told Flamengo whether he accepts the offer or not. There hasn't been an answer from ESR yet. Here's what happened. Flamengo officially knows how much ESR wants, and now, with Flamengo's offer, ESR will officially know how much Flamengo is offering. And Flamengo will try to get as close as possible to what ESR asked for, and then the deal should be closed. There's also the issue that Flamengo doesn't accept him staying there any longer because Flamengo wants him. Now then, the whole question is when it's going to happen and for how much. It's not finalized yet, but everything is settled between Flamengo and Paquetá. Contract length, 4 years, salary amount, everything he's going to receive, all of that is settled, and the player himself has already made it clear to close sources. And Monique Daniello herself from TNT has already confirmed this information. He won't play for ESR anymore unless there's an agreement, but the information is he won't play for ESR again. That's why Lucas Paquetá, we can say the following. It's already decided. He has already decided that he's going to Flamengo. Period. That's right. So this news is very important, that Flamengo, on top of everything, signs Paquetá and gets money back. Amazing. Look, Corinthians managed to bring forward their debut in the Brasileirão and will play at Vila Belmiro. Pre-Supercopa planning, Corinthians secured a behind-the-scenes win. Flamengo needs to stay alert. Corinthians advanced their Campeonato Brasileiro debut to January 28th, moving up their start in the Brasileirão. It started on the same day Flamengo was set to play due to the Supercopa do Brasil being so close. The change came after the club complained Flamengo had an advantage. What advantage? Playing near the Supercopa? Those guys base everything. They want to base everything on Flamengo. Have you noticed that? They want to base everything on Flamengo. Okay, so what? And then, to enable the change, see this. The change happened after Atual's complaints 1 day later, which led to the postponement of the match against Bahia to make the change possible. Corinthians agreed to play at Vila Belmiro because the military police don't allow two capital clubs to play in São Paulo on the same day. They agreed with Santos, who will likely play their upcoming Brasileirão match at Neoquímica Arena in May against Red Bull. Bragantino. So, man, it's Flamengo. I'll tell you, it's really annoying, man. Those guys want something. There's always something. They say they won't change, and then they do. When it's against Flamengo, they change. They're always changing. It's impressive, man. Look, bringing some important information here. The lawsuit of 40 million against Gerson. Flamengo has strengthened its backstage efforts. And they hired a heavyweight lawyer for the $1 million lawsuit, okay? According to the newspaper OGLOBO, Flamengo, in recent days, has added to the club's legal structure. The lawyer Leonardo Espíndola, a prominent name in the public and legal scene of Rio de Janeiro, former chief of staff and former attorney general of the state, Espíndola was one of those responsible for drafting the fiscal austerity program presented during the severe financial crisis in Rio de Janeiro in 2016. And he has a vast resume and all that. The lawyer represents Flamengo in the lawsuit filed against Gerson and the company linked to the player's father. It's all very sad, isn't it, that it got to this point, right, guys? We have to report the news, but it's really sad. The lawsuit involves amounts of around 40 million reais, which are considered strategic for the club. Espíndola's arrival is viewed as a key boost for handling sensitive legal disputes, strengthening Flamengo in cases with major financial and institutional impact. Okay, so Flamengo is actually taking legal action, really suing Gerson and his father. How did their relationship get to this point? Flamengo, Gerson, and Marcon, the player Marcon, correct? It's a shame, guys. It's a shame it got to this point. Look, we had the midfielder Saul recovering from surgery on his left heel, showing up at the Atlético de Madrid game for La Liga, okay? The player came to the stadium on crutches, joining the team during his rehab. Look, there's Saul, that's it. Look how cool, already on crutches, already leaving and all, right? He underwent surgery on his heel, right? It's his left heel. And he posted about following the Atlético de Madrid game. So, man, all the best to Saul. Get well soon. We hope you come back quickly. We're rooting for our midfielder, Saul Niguez. That's it. Subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and like the video. Thanks for your support. Red and black greetings from Flamengo. See all sponsors in the pinned comment. And once again, Orlando store, you can get your new Mengao jersey. Long sleeve has already arrived, kids, women's, and sleeveless too, right? There's also the tank top, which isn't for basketball, but it's really cool, and you have all the customizations here. A big hug, thanks, I'm out.